boys, Bungie is dropping some heat. They are dropping some heat. Let's get into this, because I'm fresh on the news. We fresh on the news. We're going to make this short and sweet, get all the information so y'all can go about y'all day. First off, pulse rifles. In general, we feel pulse rifles are in a good place, but pulse rifles with low aim assist stat values, like high impact scope, the high impact subfamily, feel too forgiving and near misses. Woo! Okay. We reduced the size of auto aim comb at 0 stat, which will noticeably affect pulse rifles with stat values on the lower end of the scale, which reduce the effect as stat value increases. Lightweight bows have been one of the least used and least effective weapon subfamilies in the game for a long time, and a lot of the feedback around them have been centered on how much worse they feel over precision bows and anything outside of close range. To address this, we have substantially increased the range at which they can deal full damage, and we've improved their accuracy a small bit as well. We also have some more changes coming out to all bows in Season 22, which should improve both how they are affected by reload perks and how their shots register at longer ranges. Lightweight bows, increased damage fall off start distance from 15 to 25. Woo! Hold on! Increased fixed damage fall off end distance to 45 to 20. From 20, okay. Increased final accuracy by 10%. What's some lightweight bows? I don't really use bows outside of PvE. When I'm needing using a bow in PvE, is usually an exotic. So all y'all bow lovers, this is a buff. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. We had a lot of feedback that the new dynamic reticle displaying interesting information was far too cluttered, yes, and made it difficult to use the weapon in combat. Also, yes, we made a second pass over the reticle aimed at reducing both thickness of the lines and the opacity, which minimizes the clutter in ADS while retaining the ability to show you the effect of perks or other actions have on your weapon accuracy and aim assist. Made improvements to Share Wrath ADS and shotguns. Lightweight shotguns have fallen behind their precision and aggressive counterparts in terms of effectiveness, in large due to the outermost pellets being spaced so far apart that it can be difficult to land the entire spread outside of point blank range. To address this, we have reduced their spread angle to constrain the patterns a bit more, which should move them more closer to the other top shotguns in PvP. Lightweight shotguns reduce the spread of outer horizontal pellets. So that's like Reese Walker. What's some lightweight? The main one that I think about is Reese Walker. Graviton Lance. While it's nice to see that Graviton Lance has been returned to its glory days after a long hiatus, at its current strength, the gun is just too easy to use for how rewarding it can be, and the cosmology explosions pushes it too close to a primary ammo cloud striker comfort. That is true. At the same time, it lags behind the Revision 0 heavy burst mode in PvE, and that just didn't seem fair. So we've given it a substantial buff to its PvE damage, while at the same time reducing the damage the cosmology explosion does to Guardians, and removing the extra aim assist that was granted with the catalyst. That was that hidden hand perk, the hidden hand catalyst. We'll keep an eye out for the Grav Lance moving forward to see if it requires a further tuning, whether this helps settle into a healthy spot in the meta. Okay. Increase PvE damage by 67%, remove the extra aim assist reducing the catalyst, reduce the damage dealt by cosmology by 40% against players, damage PvE unchanged. Okay. No time to explain. Ooh, listen like they just hitting the PvP everywhere. We getting some sandbox changes now. Can we get some content? Some maps, some game modes, and we get into it. We keep going. That's another video. No time to explain has been somewhat surpassed in effectiveness by returning champion Graviton Lance. But given we are to bringing Graviton Lance down a bit, we wanted to make sure that no time to explain couldn't immediately reclaim the pulse rifle thrown too easily. Reduce the range stat by 10. 10 range is usually like a meter, right? It's like a meter. So it's gonna be like 1 meter less of range. We'll see how it goes. Fighting Lion fixed the bug with the perk application that prevented Fighting Lion from granting the benefits of its catalyst. Fixed an issue where Chimera perk on the catalyst wasn't applying the buffs to kinetic and power slot damage. All right, now I see target lock right here. I'm seeing it. But let's go and start from the top. Gutshot straight. We initially made Slick Straw and Gutshot. We wanted to make sure that we weren't giving out substantial positive effects that had almost constant uptime for free. And we learned a little too hard that their penalties in a way made them often feel more like a punishment than a worthwhile trade-off. As such, we have substantially reduced the penalties of each, and in playtests they feel significantly better to use more than they did before. For Gutshot, reduce the auto aim penalty by 37.5%. What was it now? Okay, so gut shot straight reduces the damage, reduces your aim assist by 57%. So 37, that's a pretty big bonus. Okay. Slick draw reduce auto aim penalty by 33%. Oh, okay, great. Target lock has had its time in the sun, but the ability to get such a large amount of damage with relatively minimal effort for accurate players has made this perk an overwhelmingly obvious choice in whatever slot it is in PvP. For PvP. As such, we have reduced the maximum damage it can grant in PvP while leaving it unchanged in PvE. We gon' see, cause if this is it, Mortal is dead. We shall see, brother. Okay, so we're gonna redo this part because now I understand everything. So first off, we're gonna read from the top. In the future, in season 22, we'll be having a substantial shakeup coming into Weapon Sandbox in the form of Zoom. We will have more details to share close to the release, but we want to briefly touch on what's going to happen at a high level. The initial changes are going to enforce something we're calling range compression with two main goals. Reduce the variance between optimal engagement ranges of our mid-range weapons, auto rifles, pulse rifles, and hand cannons, slightly reduce the average engagement range in the Crucible while holding in the maximum damage fall off of weapons of many weapon types. To do this, the highest achievable damage fall off range on almost all weapon types will be reduced to some extent, with certain weapon types being reduced more than others. And then, in many cases, the lower edge of the damage fall off will be coming up. Below, you will find a table with the current damage fall off to start with and without rangefinder for all primary weapons, and then their values in season 22. With the new changes, we do not expect these values to be final, but we wanted to start the mid-range weapons We wanted to start the mid-range weapons on a more even footing than they are in the live game. Keep in mind, even though their damage fall off start values being similar, weapons will perform differently once their damage fall off begins, as they currently do in the live game. Rifle style weapons will experience fall off more gradually, while handheld ones will experience more quickly, but the difference should be the less extreme. In addition, we have also tuned the small list of exotics and all special weapons with the intention of keeping them near where they are in the live game. I'm sorry. As opposed to allowing them to receive substantial buffs and nerfs when these overarching changes, but we will be sharing more info on that later. Okay, so keep in mind, everything on this list is coming down a little bit or going, so like the lower, as you can see right here, the lowest of lows are either going up or staying the same. So this is the old Zoom with the old base with a rangefinder. Now, so the sidearms are going to be staying the same, but they're literally losing range on both sides. Now for SMGs, we're gaining a little bit of base range, but we're also losing some max range. That's fine. Auto rifles, we're gaining some base range and also gaining some max range. Duh. For hand cannons, we are gaining some base range, but losing some max range. Because like I said, rangefinder no longer increased the range through Zoom. So that's good. And then it's so on. So yeah, so for pulse rifles, we're gaining some base range. No, we're keeping the base range staying the same and the max range is going up a tad. So okay, overall it's good. They did say that auto rifles will be different because there's no section right here. Auto rifles have the widest variance in available zoom values in the current game, between 16 and 20 base. For this purpose of the above chart, 16 zoom was used, and the base value, since it's more prevalent, the base value is more prevalent, but 20 zoom ARs will reach 41.5 meters at 100 range. Other things to look forward to in season 22, hand cannons will be receiving several buffs aimed at improving their usefulness in PvE, including a base reload speed increase and damage increase to minor and major enemies. Sword guarding is getting substantial rework, tuning to a handful of exotics, including a balance pass for the Monarch and some big buffs such as Malice, changes to weapon perks including buffs to Bipod, Envious Assassin, and Under Over. Boys, go get that dungeon rocket. Go get it. Envious Assassin is gonna get a buff. We don't know what it is, but Envious Assassin bait and switch on the dungeon rocket launcher is probably still the best rocket in the game right now. But you keep moving. But what about the second balance pass? Season 23 is in full swing. Swing here when it comes to the weapons team, which means a lot of things are still in flux. We do know for sure that glaives, and yes, the class 1s too, we'll be getting some substantial tuning. And we're excited to share details of that as we get closer, as we get further along. For now, we can let you know that we're looking at ways to make them feel better to use without making them more annoying to play against. And we're experimenting with things like reducing the delay after firing before you can melee, improving the base projectile speed, and altering how the shield energy is granted. If you're a glaive aficionado, we'd be interested to know how these changes strike you. Even if you aren't, we still like to hear from you. All right. I appreciate you guys, and let's get back to the TWAB. Okay, now we're on to the TWAB. So just to start things off on the right foot so you guys don't comment that I forgot about talking about this. They do talk about weapon balancing and how they go about balancing weapons in the game, even though they have talked about it in the future, like in the past, like they just said before. We've talked about this before, but we thought it would be a good opportunity to dive a little deeper. So if you guys want to read about this, I will leave it down below in the description if you guys want to read it yourself. What I do want to talk about is they're doing a fishing rally, so if you guys want to read this as well, they're talking about like doing fishing derbies to give out rewards and stuff, which is really cool. Also, the most important part is the Witherhoard ornament vote. If I see any of y'all not voting for this first one, I'm joking, but I'm voting for the first one. Let me guys know what you're gonna vote for. There are full pictures out and about. I will post them in this video. I'm going for the first one here because I do like the blue. So let me know what you guys are going to vote for in the comments below. And here is the link. I will put the link in the description as well. They will go live. Voting will go live around 1 p.m. PST. That is 4 p.m. EST, if I'm remembering correctly, doing my conversions right. So yeah, that's all basically off of the TWAB, because they had everything that probably would have been in this TWAB in the freaking mid-season patch update. So I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you have a good one. All right, be easy. Peace.